Good morning to you. I'd like to talk with you this morning about one of the key portions of Christianity. It has so many ramifications, so many touchstones. I'm talking about forgiveness, an area that Jesus touched again and again and again. A difficult and yet ideal way of seeing a person who has been forgiven is to look at them with the same measure of acceptance and respect as was true before the experience occurred, the experience that necessitated the forgiveness. That is, we would treat them with the same amount of dignity and pride and with an affirming attitude of their value as a person, in spite of the wrong that has been experienced. Paul Tillich, one of the foremost theologians of our times, is quoted in a little book called A Time for Salvation. Paul Tillich says, Jesus does not forgive the woman, but he declares that she is forgiven. Her state of mind, her ecstasy of love, shows that something has happened to her, and nothing greater can happen to a human being than that they are forgiven. For forgiveness means reconciliation in spite of estrangement. It means reunion in spite of hostility. It means acceptance of those who were formerly unacceptable, and it means reception of those who were formerly rejected. Forgiveness is unconditional, or it is not forgiveness at all. Those words by Paul Tillich. Such forgiveness between you and another person, or me and another person, is terrifically hard, and yet we can believe that unconditional forgiveness is the precise kind that is offered to us by God through Jesus Christ. Such a forgiveness does not forget the hurt. The experience and the feelings are very real, and they stay very real. But this kind of forgiveness recognizes that the event, the experience, the encounter, the experience of damage, this kind of experience has been dealt with in a conscious manner, not outside of awareness, but within awareness, intense awareness. And there is a decision of the whole person, soul, mind, soul, and body, to move beyond the experience into a renewed relationship, a brand new, renewed relationship. The experience dies because both persons have buried it, and the relationship, out of the power of God that he gives us to bring forth death from life, a new creation, a new person is born out of the old. Such a dying of the experience, that is, the death of the hurt, requires a conscious effort on the part of both persons. Perhaps the hurt one requires the greater consciousness of all the emotional energy, the willingness of the person to treat the other in a way that continually communicates their acceptability and their value and their being loved. You have to believe, however, that such a way of operating with persons is possible, and it is possible with Christ's help doing it. You have to believe that this way of unconditional forgiveness is the best and highest for you and has the most positiveness, the most positive effect for your own spiritual, mental, emotional, and certainly physical health as well. You must have faith that this is God's way of dealing with us as those who have hurt him, and that he has buried, that is, in Christ's death. He has buried the hurt so that we might rise to a new creation, a brand new person, and so find our true nature as a child of God, as forgiven persons. Beloved, I do not say this lightly about forgiveness. I recognize how hard it is for us to let go of the hurt, to keep from forgetting, to remind ourselves that we are consciously letting go of the hurt and the damage. There's no more difficult task in the Christian life than that of treating others with the same kind of forgiveness that we have received from God through Jesus Christ. But there is also no way that brings so much joy, beauty, gladness, peace, and the love of God into our lives as the kind of forgiveness about which I speak and which I invite you to do in any area of reconciliation where that applies to your life. May you use and know the power of Jesus Christ to help you in your forgiveness.